Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to Social Science online teaching classes from Vishwamanava Residential High School. I am Mahboobi, your social science teacher. My dear students, today we are going to discuss political science part of the third lesson, that is India's relationship with other countries. India's relationship with other countries. In this lesson, today we are going to discuss about how India has bilateral agreement and trade relationship with other countries. How its cultural and traditional relationship with foreign countries, and how was the ancient background historical events of the particular countries. In this unit, the four major countries we are going to discuss. One is India's relationship with India and China. Second one is relationship between India and Pakistan. Third one is relationship between India and Russia. Fourth one is relationship between India and USA. India and China, India and Pakistan, India and Russia, India and USA. These points today we are going to learn in this class. Okay. My dear students, all of you know that these are very major countries and we have very good relationship with those foreign countries. In this globalized, you know that in this globalized and modernized environment is very necessary to have a very good relationship with the other countries. In early chapter is we have already discussed about the Indian foreign policy of India and the need of foreign policy for one country, so that the one country cannot lead without any other relationship with other countries. It cannot be isolated. My dear students, in our constitution as well as Article 51 says that international peace and coexistence. According to Article 51 says that international peace and coexistence, this particular provision, Article 51. My dear students, first of all, let's discuss about what they have relationship with China. All of you know that China is the neighboring country. My dear students, China is a big country in the world. China is a big populated country in the world which borders India. Then the relationship between China and India goes back to Mesopotamia and Sindhu River civilization's time. My dear students, China, you know that since civilization goes back to Indus Valley civilization. Relationship between both the countries since ancient time. Even Buddhism originated in China, has founded wide acceptance in China. The relationship between China and India goes back to ancient time. The relationship between both the countries since ancient times, even Buddhism originated in India, but the acceptance, more followers than China. Originating in India, but acceptance in China. I think you know that the travelers, those who came from India and China, Fahian and Huanetsang. My dear students, Fahian and Huanetsang, these are the two most important Chinese travelers those came to India. Fahian particularly came to India to study Buddhism in India. Then many of the rulers had cordial business relationship with Chinese ruler. The silk trade between China and India is discussed in Kautilya's Arthashastra. My dear students, the India's ruler has also to get good relationship with China also. They had very cordial relationship with China, silk trade. We have silk business with China, and there was a particular route which is known as Silk Route. Understand? This is that is really well mentioned Kautilya's in Arthashastra, Kautilya's in economics. Understand? Then after, my dear students, both the countries signed for Panchashila principles. Both the countries, India and China. One side Jawaharlal Nehru and the China president, that is Chu Enlai. At that time 1944. 1944, in that time both the countries signed for the Panchashila principles. Both the countries signed for the Panchashila principles was in 1944. We discussed in the foreign policy of India. The Chinese leader Chu Enlai and Indian's Prime Minister at that time Jawaharlal Nehru signed the Panchashila principles. We have particular issues with China, those we must remember. Which are those issues? That was issues 1962 Indo-China War because of Tibetan crisis. A war broke out India and China due to Tibetan crisis. One side the Chinese leader Chu Enlai and India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru signed the Panchashila principles. We have particular issues with China. Those we must remember. Which are those issues? That was in 1962 Indo-China War. That is Tibetan crisis, because of a Tibetan crisis. Then after, border disputes, and very important thing, that is China has been claimed over Arunachal Pradesh. In the border dispute, and very important thing, that is China has been claimed over Arunachal Pradesh. It is very major issues between India and China. All these major issues between India and China. Then after, my dear students, in the spirit of the border disputes and wars, the bilateral relationship between India and China has remained and continued healthily. It is the bilateral relationship between India and China. Then, both the countries have the highest population and both are identified as a lending economics of the world. All of you know that. India and China, both the countries have the highest population in the world and both are identified as the lending economics of the world. Then India has established good relationship between India and China. India has a very good relationship between China after 1980s. And this has the further sentiment its relationship. All of you know that India has a relationship. India has a established good trade relationship with China after 1980s. After 1980s, India has established a good relationship between China. Understand? My dear students, these are major issues between India and China. With continued effects of India and China, BRICS group of countries has been established. My dear students, both countries, India and China, are the major role play in BRICS. BRICS is one of the particular international association, in which B. Brazil or Russia, I. India, C. China, and yes, South Africa. Brazil, BRICS. BRICS is one of the particular international association. Are remembered, this is particular organization aimed at a trade relationship and given in policy. Because because of that, the particular purpose, the BRICS established in 2015. The BRICS established in 2015. In spite of war, both countries have held bilateral relationship, both countries, and are having lending economic growth. This is Indo-China relationship. Here we concentrate Panchashila principle, border disputes. China has been climbed over Arunachal Pradesh. Both are well lending growth economic countries. Now let's move on. Another important concept in this lesson, the major relationship between India and Pakistan. My dear students, India and Pakistan are the neighboring countries. Pakistan is not only a neighboring country but was an integral part of India during pre-independence period. All of you know that India and Pakistan are the neighboring countries. Pakistan is not only neighboring country but was an integral part of India during the 1947 pre-independence period. My dear students, but after India Independent Act of 1947, both countries became independent and sovereign countries. Soon after independence, foreign relationship between both the countries started. Then there issues like terrorism, Jammu and Kashmir issues and water sharing disputes are these between both the countries. My dear students, all of you know that Pakistan was integral part of India before 1947. Pakistan has came to existence 1947 August 14. India has came to existence August 15, 1947. It was separated from Pakistan. Pakistan was separated from India. Both it was independent nation in 1947. Here we concentration on which are the major issues. We have the Pakistan. One is terrorism. Second one is Jammu and Kashmir issues. Third one is water disputes. These are the very major issues. Terrorism, Jammu and Kashmir, water disputes. And three wars we have fight against Pakistan. One is terrorism. Terrorism is encouraged by Pakistan. It is very major international issues. Then second one is Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan has climbed over Kashmir and encouraging the borders. Then water disputes is the river Indus revision get to India. These are the three major issues. Very important concept, my dear students. Keep it in mind. These are the very major issues. One is terrorism, second one is Jammu and Kashmir issue, and third one is water disputes. And very important, these three wars we have to face against Pakistan and India. These are the major issues between India and Pakistan, Jammu and Kashmir, terrorism and water disputes. Some of the very important agreements signed with India. My dear students, Both the countries have fought three wars. In order to improve bilateral ties between both the countries, many agreements. Some of the very important agreements signed between India. One is Tashkent Agreement. Second one is Shimla Agreement. Then third one is Lahore Bus Yatra. Fourth one is Agra Conference have been entered. My dear students, some of the very important agreements signed with India. One is Tashkent Agreement. Keep it in mind, very important. Second one is Shimla Agreement. Third one is Lahore Bus Yatra. And fourth one is Agra Conference. These are very major important agreements signed between India. Then these are agreements we have signed with Pakistan. But agreements like this have held very less. These are agreements we have signed with Pakistan. Then after, my dear students, here some of the very important issues and trouble which are triangled by Pakistan. One is Indian Parliament House in 2001. Second one is Mumbai attack in 2007. All of you know that. Parliament House attack in 2001. Then Mumbai attack in 2007. And Pathankot attacked in 2016 have continued affecting the quality of the bilateral relationship India and Pakistan. My dear students, this is very important aspect of these bilateral talks. Attack on the Indian Parliament House in the year 2001, Mumbai attack in 2007 and Pathankot attack in 2016 have continued affecting the quality of bilateral relationship between India and China. India and Pakistan have clashed over the years. All of you know that. India and Pakistan have clashed over many years about Jammu and Kashmir issues. These are few similarities between two countries. Then both countries share common cultural and economic ties and mutual exchanges in both the fields have continued. Then after, the mutual trade relationship have continued ever since independence. Similarly, both have responded to each and others' needs during emergency and natural calamities. That is the concept of India and Pakistan. Now let's move on another important concept in this lesson, that is India and Russia. The other major neighboring countries, India and Russia. All of you know that Russia, it is cordial relationship with India. India has cordial relationship with Russia. It has similar relationship with United Socialist Soviet Russia, USSR also. My dear students, cordial means it is a friendly relationship. India has a friendly relationship with Russia. India has a friendly relationship with Russia and it has similar relationship with USSR also. Then, even though India followed non-aligned policy, it had good relationship with Russia in the field of economics, politics and other areas. My dear students, India followed non-aligned policy. It had good relationship with Russia in the field of economics, politics and other areas. Then USSR had opposed China invasion of India in the year 1962. Then during the Goa liberation in the year 1962, USSR had supported India at UNO. My dear students, in the year 1962, during the Goa liberation, Russia had fully supported India at UNO. Then USSR had supported the Tashkent Agreement between India and Pakistan in the year 1963. In the year 1963, Russia has fully supported Tashkent Agreement between both the countries, India and Pakistan. Then, in the year 1971, India and USSR signed an agreement of 20 years of peace and cooperation. In the year 1971, both the countries, India and Russia, signed an agreement that is peace and cooperation. Then, USSR has supported for the establishment of Bhilai and Bokora steel plants. USSR has fully supported for the establishment of Bhilai and Bokora steel plants. India has taken major supports from Russia to improve its industries and technology. Then after, India has extended its supports to India's quest for permanent seat in the UNO Security Council. My dear students, after that, Russia has extended its support to India's quest for the permanent seat in the UNO Security Council. That is the major concept relationship between powerful countries, that is India and Russia. And next, move on. One of the important concept and the last concept in this lesson, that is India and USA. The relationship between powerful countries, India and USA. My dear students, all of you know that India and USA, America are democratic countries and are also big countries in the world. USA are a democratic countries and big countries in the world. Then after, in the present international scenario, both India and USA, America have a major role play. In the present international, we can see both India and America, USA have a major role play. All of you know that. The relationship between both the countries have found a few major shifts ever since 1947. During the bipolar world of Cold War era, India has maintained equal distance between Russia and USA with non-aligned policy. My dear students, in the year 1947, the relationship between both the countries have found few major shifts. During the bipolar world war, during the bipolar world of Cold War, India had maintained equal distance between Russia and China with a non-aligned policy. Then USA has supported a lot of India's 5-year plans. America has fully supported a lot of India's 5-year plans. Then USA has extended its support during Indo-China War of 1965. 1965, USA has extended its supports during Indo-China War. Then after, but later part, political leaders of USA extended their support to Pakistan during the war between India and Pakistan. Many times foreign policy of USA has been anti-India and pro-Pakistan. My dear students, the later political leaders of USA has extended support Pakistan during the war between India and Pakistan. Then, interestingly, both countries, India and USA, have shared interest in controlling terrorism. Interestingly, both the countries have shared interest in controlling terrorism. Then after, India enjoys better relationship with USA in the fields of foreign trade, in the field of science and technology, in the field of space science, then in the field of education and other areas of mutual interest. India and America, then both the countries have shared interest in controlling terrorism. Then after, India has fully enjoys better relationship with America in the field of foreign policy, science and technology, space science, education and other areas of mutual interest. Then both the countries share mutual responsibility, strengthening UNO and maintenance of global peace. Both the countries have shared their mutual responsibility of UNO and maintenance of global peace in the world. Then India keeps observing the policy shift in two parties of USA. One is democratic, another one is republican. Understand? India keeps observing the policy shift in the two parties of USA. One is democratic and another one is republican parties. And it is adjust in the policies in accordance to the maintenance. These are the very important powerful countries in the world. One is India and Russia, another one is India and USA. Students, in this topic, India's relationship with other countries, today we have learned relationship between India and China, relationship between India and Pakistan, relationship between India and Russia, relationship between India and USA. Today, these points we have learned in the lesson India's relationship with other countries. My dear students, chapter is completed. Thank you.